You might be looking at this slide and saying, wait, this is where we started. And you're right. This is where we started. As I mentioned, sometimes that clincher, that final word that you leave with, ties the entire presentation together. It takes us back to the beginning and takes our journey to the end. Communication isn't just words and sounds and gestures that reflect our world. It is the means through which we create that world. By the choices we make in our communication, we create our reality. And hopefully you've found this throughout the course, that I'm not just trying to show you, okay, this is how you get an A in the class, or this is how you get a B in the class. No. For me, the grade is not as important as what you leave the class with. That you're able to sit down and do that job interview and present yourself in such a way that they hire you, or that maybe 5 years from now you're sitting there and you're defending your dissertation and you're taking just a little bit of what I've talked about this semester with you, and you say, okay, I'm going to disasterize, and I know this is the worst question they can ask me, and I'm going to be ready for it because that's what Brad showed me. That's my hope. I hope you found a safe place. You got through your introduction. We know what public speaking is, D2L, policies and procedures, and a few life hacks. I hope you're still practicing. So when you find a safe place, you need to find that everywhere you go. You need to find that in your communication with friends and family. You need to find that in your workplace. And so you have to have some freedom, the right to choose. You have to feel safe from dangers in that place. You have to feel valued, and there has to be openness, that you're not being excluded because of your perspective. Instead, those are encouraged. We played our game to begin the semester, two truths and a lie. You got it. You know which one my lie is and what my two truths are. Going forward, figure out the truths that you're going to share, the truths that you can bring into your presentation, that when you're sitting down for that job interview, don't tell the lie, instead focus on the two truths. Have something that is of interest, that you can tell a story about, that your truth isn't just, oh, I took a public speaking class. No, it's your hero's journey now. I started out, I was afraid of public speaking, I didn't want to do it, but I got in there, and that first speech, I was nervous, and I improved, and it grew. Your truths become the stories that helps you connect with people. And there we are. Yep, didn't have that hair. But I do have other stories. I don't have to focus on the lie. I can focus on the truth, as you can with your stories going forward. When you stood up that first time, how'd you feel? Nervous? That will stay with you. That's okay. You know, the main thing is that you now see how you can work your way through it, and that you can get better as you're doing it. You did it. You did. You did it then, you can do it now. So I hope your next experience, you remember that your presentation will only last so long, and that you can then put it behind you, take those lessons you need from it, and you can do your next one. Now, I'm not going to play her video, but I do want you to think about it. A lot of people at the first class said they wouldn't have gone up there. And they wouldn't have gone up there because they were afraid. They were afraid. It was public speaking. I can't do that. But you can. You've done it. All right? And so that why not is no longer a question of why you said no, but why not do it? You can. And you now see the public speaking happens everywhere. It doesn't just happen in a classroom. It happens at work. Maybe you get a promotion and now suddenly you have to tell the new employees, you have to orientate them. That's public speaking, and you can do it. Or maybe it's going to be public speaking. You're on a sports team and you want to motivate the team to win that game. Boom. Now you take your voice, you take that power that you have and you utilize it to achieve goals. Now, we're talking about D2L. All right. I know there's a lot of anxiety that was caused because I went through and I posted no grades. I posted those zeros. I didn't do that to frighten you. I did that to remind you of where you're at now. There is still time in this semester to take those zeros and to get them done. And if D2L is messed up, if Connect has come in and erased your grade, please let me know. I want to give you that A, I want to give you that B. All right? So make sure you're checking D2L when you're going to your other classes too. Realize that is an important form of communication for your professors and for you. So stay up on that. Check that. Don't wait until the 12th to check it, okay? Check it today. Check it next Monday. Check it on the 8th. Make sure you are getting the points you deserve. And let me know. I want to work with you on them, okay? This 24-hour rule. This is a good rule in life. All right? Oftentimes, we get caught up in anger of the moment, and we rush out there, and we're just going to speak our mind, and we're just going to let it fly. And then we say something, and the rule of communication is you can never take communication back. Once it's out there, it's out there. So practice the 24-hour rule, not just for your college courses, but in other aspects of your life. If you're really mad at your best friend, take 24 hours from the situation, breathe, and figure out what the actual situation is before you lose that friend. The speech days, they changed a lot during the semester, didn't they? I mean, we started out thinking, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to get together, and on that Friday before, we'll have that workshop day, and you'll come in that next week, and you'll present, and you'll be ready to fly, and we're online. But you adjusted. You changed. And that's good. I hate throwing curveballs like that. I didn't see it coming. In fact, I got hit by the curveball that hit you as well. So it's okay. Just realize going forward, if you have speech days, make sure you're present for them. You're going to talk in front of the history class. Don't be absent that day and then come back later expecting to make it up. No, realize you've obligated yourself to that. If you're going to talk to the Chamber of Commerce about your business, don't at the last minute say, oh, I can't make it to lunch tomorrow, have someone else speak in my place, because that opportunity may not come back around. So when you make obligations to speak, whether it is in college or your job or other places, uphold that. It is better to go in there and get through it than to delay it and have ramifications for it. You might not get a 5-point deduction at that Chamber of Commerce meeting, but you may not get that customer that you really needed to boost your business. Your introduction speech. Now, you may hear of an elevator speech if you go on and you're doing other communication courses. Your introduction speech is part of that. A story, that hero's journey, where you can introduce yourself to someone quickly. Introduce yourself or your business. Or perhaps if you're going for that internship, where you can say, yeah, I deserve this internship because, and you can state this. Use that introduction speech formula to do that. Special occasion speeches. These are the ones that will sneak up on you, all right? So I'm hoping from what we've done, what we've covered, that you can sit down and say, wait a minute, all right, I have to do this speech. I got a half hour to write it, but someone's important to me. They're leaving and I want to really express it. So what's the first thing I need to do? Oh, well, I have to come up with an attention getter. Nice little story. That's a good attention getter. So I'll start the story. And then maybe I need to develop a little bit of credibility in there and say, I've worked with them for 12 years. I've worked with them for 2 years, however long. And I know them and they were always there for me. And what I want to talk about today, boom, you're in your preview. As you hit your preview, you tell them what you're going to tell them. Then you hit that body of it and you tell them what you are intending to tell them. Then you're going to transition to that conclusion. You're going to do your review, and today we stand here going to say goodbye to this longtime coworker. And I want to remind you that we talked about this, and then you're hitting to that clincher, that mic drop. See, you got the tools. You've done this now. So now you can sit there and you can actually do this. Someone comes to you at the last minute, just remember those simple elements, same as these PowerPoints have all been. Okay? You can do it. You have the tools in that toolbox now. Informative speeches. Remember, there's a difference between if they want you to do an informative versus a persuasive. All right. If they want an informative, you're just basically going to share with them. You're not trying to change their mind, and there's no action at the end. If there's an action at the end, now that I've told you about global warming, I want you to donate to the Tree Society. You've just made it into a persuasive. But a lot of the elements are still the same because you still need to develop credibility. You still need to have that ethos, pathos, and logos that we talked about. So understand where you'll use your informative speech. Your informative speech, when we're talking about that new employee that you now have to train, they're already your employee. You've already hired them. You don't need to persuade them. No, you need to inform them. So that becomes your informative speech. You'll do a lot of these in college. You don't want to persuade your professor that the 1920s was the best. No, you want to tell them about the 1920s. Your persuasive speech. Now this is the one that we're trying to finish up on, that we're trying to get those in. So please make sure you're getting those done. Get them sent to me either by Connect. I'll check Connect again today. Send me a link so I can view it. However you want to get that to me, you can get this done, okay? But persuasive. Remember Monroe's motivational sequence. As you're going out there and you're in a sales job now, remember the first thing you need to do is connect with that person when they walk in the door. A compliment's always good. Perhaps something, a nice thing to connect with them. Compliment them, the weather, maybe if you're working in a sports place, about the Broncos, however you decide to formulate that initial bond with them. Okay, and then you want to point out something that's needed, a need. You have to create something, It's like if you're selling cars, you want to say, boy, that's a beautiful car out there. I sure wouldn't trade it in for another one. You just lost your job. What you want to do instead is say, that car, we have something that's more you. Something that's more four-wheel drive, something that's more sporty, whatever you want to do. So you create a need, and then you create a solution. You tell them what the solution is. And then from the solution, you're going to go to that action. It's like, okay, what I need you to do now. So that all works in. Your self-evaluations. It's not just for this class. Evaluate how you do after a speech. Is there something you could have done better? Is there something you did really great that you can hang your hat on, be proud of? So when you're doing that speech at the Chamber of Commerce, when you're done, do a self-evaluation. Say, yeah, I forgot to mention. And that really kind of threw off my speech. So next time you get the opportunity, you can correct it and do better. You have to attend. You have to participate, not just in class, in life. If you're not showing up, you don't get that promotion. You don't get that job. You don't get that sale. So realize that attendance and participation goes beyond the classroom. It goes into your personal lives as well. Extra credit. There's always an opportunity. Now, I have a lot of people that are stressed right now about their grades. I've said this a couple times before. I'm sticking it kind of towards the middle bottom half of this presentation. If you've done your presentations, the worst you're going to leave this class with is a C. Okay? Those 4 presentations. And turn them in so I can do that. Anything beyond that is those little points that we talked about. The life hacks. Please tell me, while you have that .edu account, go out there and get the new software from Microsoft. Upgrade your computer. Make it so it's easier to create these PowerPoints, so that it's easier to get the Microsoft Word that actually has an updated dictionary and can have all these different. Make sure you do that, okay? If you're using Apple, check to see what the Apple Store offers. With that .edu account and being a student, you can also carry that forward into launching your career. So update your software, be ready. Always back up, always, always, always. And this isn't just in class. If you have something important, save it on the cloud. You know, you have an important document, scan it and put it on the cloud. Put it on a flash drive. Put it on a portable hard drive. Whatever you need to do, but back up your information in life. So that way, it's not gone like that. You have a way to access it in the future. Do the little things. Now, it became too easy to fall behind because of the transition. I understand that. And that's okay. We have time for you to catch up. And I'm not going to be horrible towards anyone, because to me, the grade is important, but it's not as important as the tools you're taking from the class. And if I see you leaving with those tools, I'm thrilled, I'm happy. And what you have experienced, no power on earth can take from you. Now that you've been through this class, no one can erase your memory and take it away from you. You've achieved things. You've gone places. You've done things. You're awesome. So what we talked about, Safe Zone, our introductions, a little public speaking, a little bit of the computer, some life hacks that you should be utilizing, not just in college, utilize them in life. And hopefully if you have any questions, you're contacting me. I do have students reaching out. I'm getting on those emails. I'm responding back. If you need me to call you, I can do that. Let me know what you need to get you through this semester, because we're almost there. There's no reason to drop now. You can achieve your goal.